Hi guys, you are watching Biology with Inshara, and in today's video we are going to talk about enzymes. Now you're watching the part 2 of the video, and if you have not seen part 1 of the video, then I highly recommend that you stop watching, go and watch part 1 of the video first and then come back, because we are going to get into much more detail and you guys won't understand the concept of this video. Now the link is down in the description below, so you can just click on the link and you will be directed to the part 1 of the video. I hope you guys will enjoy this video. Let's get started. Now we're going to talk about the factors that affect the rate of any chemical reaction. Now those factors are called limiting factors. Limiting factors are any factors that can directly affect the rate of any chemical reaction or maybe even an enzyme activity. Now before we understand those limiting factors, let's first understand a few key points and a few terminologies. The first one is that proteins can quickly change their shape when exposed to very high temperatures or when placed in extreme acidic or alkaline conditions. Enzymes become denatured when they are placed in the described condition stated above. Why? Because the three-dimensional structure of their active site is changed due to the extreme changes in the temperature, very high temperature, or very alkaline or acidic conditions. What is denaturation? Denaturation is a process by which the three-dimensional or the physical structure of any protein is altered by extreme temperature or pH conditions. Now, after denaturation, the enzyme is no longer to function as it has been damaged, permanently damaged. Why? When the active site is physically changed or altered, the substrate molecules will no longer be able to fit into the active site of the enzyme, and therefore the reaction will not take place. Now, the first limiting factor that we are going to discuss is temperature. Now, what is an optimum temperature? An optimum temperature is the temperature at which the enzyme can function the best. Okay, this is the temperature at which the enzyme can function in its best. Okay, and that temperature is 37 degrees Celsius, which is the temperature of our body, and it can go up to 40 degrees Celsius. But after 40 degrees Celsius and beyond 50 and then 60, the enzyme gets denatured. Now if you look at the graph, you can see that when the temperature is gradually increased, the rate of the reaction also increases as the kinetic energy is increased. When the kinetic energy is increased, the substrate molecules get more energy and they are more likely to collide with the active site of the enzyme, and therefore the reaction is likely to happen at a faster rate. The same amount of products are made, but only at a faster rate. It's very important that you understand that the amount of product is the same. It's not that more products are made or less amount of products are made. No, the only difference is that the temperature increases the rate of the reaction, and the amount of products made is faster. However, when we keep on increasing the temperature, let's say beyond 40 degrees Celsius, then this can be dangerous, as the very high temperature can now physically change the shape of the active site of the enzyme, and when that active site has been changed, which is permanent, the enzyme is said to be denatured and the enzyme can no longer function due to the changed active site, because the substrate molecules will not be able to fit into the active site. That is why after 40 degrees Celsius, you can see that the graph is at its highest at 40 degrees Celsius because it's working its best. That enzyme is working at its best here. But after 40 degrees Celsius, there is a rapid drop. That's because the activity of the enzyme rapidly drops since the enzyme has stopped functioning due to it being denatured. And at the very end, at about 60 degrees Celsius, you can see that it is no longer functioning because the enzyme activity is now absolutely zero. The optimum temperature should be about between 37 to 40 degrees Celsius, and beyond 40 degrees Celsius can cause denaturation. But what happens when the temperature is low? Well, nothing happens. The kinetic energy is low and the enzyme is inactive. It's not denatured. It's not dead. Well, it's wrong to say dead because an enzyme is not a living thing, but it's not damaged. It is still intact. Its active site is still there in its perfect shape, but it's just not functioning because it does not have the energy to do so. But when we increase the temperature, it will start to function again and restore its capability. Now when we talk about pH, and there's another graph for pH you can see here, at a very acidic condition, which is around 4 or between 5 and 4, the enzyme is denatured, and same goes when the pH level is between 10 or 11. But at 7 or 8, its the best. Now this is the optimum pH, which means it is the pH at which the enzyme has its best activity, which is the neutral condition. The saliva in our mouth has a pH of 7, which is very efficient for the enzyme amylase to work at. And if you look at the graph, 7 to 8 is the optimum temperature, and on the both sides of the graph we can see that the the pH has caused denaturation, as it is either too acidic or too alkaline. And do remember that at low temperatures the enzyme is still working, but it's working at a very slow rate, and you need to increase the temperature in order to increase its activity. And it's still there, it's intact, but it's definitely not denatured at very low temperatures. Now on the screen right in front of you are a few details that you should read, and I'm sure they will help you out. Like I described how when the temperature increases, the kinetic energy increases, and how the chances of colliding is faster, and how at low temperatures the enzyme is not denatured. It simply becomes inactive and functions happen at a very slow rate. And more details that you need to know, like the benefits of increasing the temperature, because, well, the rate is increased of the enzyme activity. Now that we have successfully discussed the factors, the limiting factors, which is temperature, and then the other is the pH, power of hydrogen ions, deciding whether a solution is alkaline or acidic, that affect the rate of the enzyme activity, we're going to look at a few examples. And the first example of an enzyme and a substrate would be amylase, and the substance it acts on is starch, and the product made is maltose, which is a sugar, a disaccharide sugar. And then we have catalase, which is abundant in the blood and liver of mammals, even in plants, and they break down a molecule or a substance called hydrogen peroxide, which is toxic, and this is broken down into oxygen and water, which is it is harmless. And then we have the third example, an enzyme called protease, which is present in the stomach of human body, and it's called pepsin. And that particular enzyme works on proteins. The meat and the eggs that we consume contains proteins, and then they are converted into amino acids in the body. Now that is a product made. These are just a few examples you guys should know, and there are many more, but I've just written down the basic examples for your understanding. It's important that you guys know the enzyme, substrate, and the product made. Okay? Well, this is it for now. Thanks for watching. If you're watching this on Facebook, then like and follow my page. And if you're watching this on YouTube, then don't forget to like and subscribe my YouTube channel. And do leave a comment down below. And check out my Facebook page if you're watching this on YouTube. And check out my YouTube channel if you guys are watching this on Facebook. I'll be making weekly content for you guys. Any suggestions, any recommendations, or any request, let me know. And I will try to fulfill all those requests. And I hope you enjoyed my video. As always, keep learning. Thank you very much, and see you in the next video.